Good morning and welcome to the Anarchy Trading Podcast, everybody. Listen, Levi's telling me I need to have more energy this morning. It is thinking 4:45, okay, maybe 5 a.m. in the morning because Levi and I are trying to find times to record. And so he's like, you got to have more energy. I'm like, dude, I just woke up. I don't know how I'm supposed to have more energy. But that being said, we're up, we're recording. And so thank you for joining us at whatever time it may be in your time zone for this amazing multimedia adventure, The Song of the Cebu. Any of you who grew up with VeggieTales will know that reference. But no, we are excited to be with you. Levi had an interesting thing he wanted to talk today, and it's something we've talked about in the past, but I don't think we've touched on it for a while. And it's the fact that a lot of times we are our worst enemies when it comes to trading. And what I mean by that is we love to fiddle. We've talked about, I think it was the blue dot principle, was it, Levi? Where, our judgment is always best, or we'll see stuff after to think we see stuff afterwards. And so Levi wanted to talk about how we can become better traders, more successful traders by simply not touching our trades. Levi, what's up?
Hey everybody, and good morning, Jordan. Yeah, it is crazy early. For some reason, you and I had like an easier time when you were out in Thailand. When Jordan was in Thailand, we were like, I don't know what, it was like 12
12
to
hour. It was
11
a 12
hours
hour
apart,
difference.
depending.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it was actually pretty easy. One of us would be up at night, one of us would be up in the morning, and we would record. It was way easier for us to record. Now, Jordan, you're in mountain time, and it's 2 hours early, and so we have a really hard time finding times to record. So now we want to record more for you guys and make more episodes. And so we're like, look, let's do it in the morning. And so now you're up at 4:45. I'm up at, not really a problem for me. I'm up at 6, but thanks for waking up earlier.
Levi says he's awake, but just
tough for
before
you.
this, he was talking into a mic that was 400 feet away from him. So I don't think he's quite up yet.
Yeah, don't pay attention to how we cut this together, because I just had to make a cut because I didn't have the mic next to my mouth. Anyway, so we haven't talked about this for a little while. So I like you said, so I want to talk about it again because it's going to be really helpful for people. I was reminded about it again today. I won't say his name because I'm not going to pick on him, but you know who you are. I was talking to one of our listeners. He reaches out every now and then and asks me to look at his trades, and I do so, and we really love doing that for you guys. So please reach out to us if you have any questions about your trading. Send us your journal. We love looking at it and just helping you guys. And so I was looking at his trades, and he was looking for, and he kind of knew what the issue was, but sometimes it's helpful just to have a second opinion. And we've all done this. I was looking at his journal, and I went, I think if you just left your trades alone after you took them, you would be profitable. This last month, I looked at like a month of his trades, and I looked at him. I said, if you just left it alone, I think you'd be making money. I didn't have the time to, actually go through the math on it. I gave it to him for homework, told him, hey, look, go back and just write down how many times, putting your stop loss to break even, or exiting a trade early, or whatever you do after you take a trade, whatever you kind of these fiddly changes you make, we all do them. We've all done them. Check how many times that saves you money versus how many times that loses you money, and see how, just get back to me on that. And he did so, and he came back to me and he said, yeah, this last week I would have made money rather than either break even or lose money. And this is incredibly common. And, so we've kind of talked about this before, but the fact is, if you make changes after you take a trade, the second you hit buy or sell, you are stupider than you were literally just 5 seconds ago.
Stupider.
Okay, yeah, I'm not exactly sure that's a word. I'm fairly confident it's not. But after you take a trade, you are more stupid than you were before you took a trade. And so the kind of general advice is, especially if you're taking low risk to reward trades, like you're not taking 1 to 10 trades, or doing complicated stuff. If you're doing what we kind of encourage beginners to do and take low risk to reward trades, 1 to 1s, 1 to 2s, if you're doing that sort of stuff, don't mess with your trade, right? Take your trade and leave it. You're going to if beginners just do this, I think you will get 10% to 20% better by just not messing with your trade.
I think it's way higher than that, honestly. I think it's like 50% better.
It might be.
It's like
It might
mess
be
like
50% better.
yeah, because we've talked about this. Like messing with your trade, there's a few reasons why messing with your trade doesn't work. Because there's a few psychological principles involved in that. Number one, fear. I think that's the biggest reason people lose money by messing with their trades is because of fear, because either they're afraid they'll miss out on making money, or they're afraid that they're going to lose a certain amount of money, and that causes them to do things. It can either cause you, okay, you set your trade. Let's say a typical trade is going to be a 1 to 2 for a lot of people. Levi and I really like 1 to 1.5s, 1 to 1s, but let's say 1 to 2 for a reason. So you set up a 1 to 2 trade, and then you see it start coming down towards your stop loss. Now, there's a couple types of traders. There's the traders that are going to go, hey, it's coming towards my stop loss. I don't want to lose that entire money that I'm risking. I'm going to close the trade early. And they close the trade early. Then there's the other trade that goes, oh, I don't want to lose this money. It's going towards my stop loss. I'm going to move my stop loss. Both of those are going to make you lose money. One's going to make you lose a lot more money much faster. But the fact is, fear is what's making you move that stop loss either up or down, and is causing you to prematurely or just blow accounts or just prematurely lose money. Because let's be honest, you set that stop loss at the beginning for a reason. You said, hey, I think that this is where if it goes past this is where I think we're going to lose money. So when you move that stop loss, you're already going against the plan and strategy that you had already put. As Levi said, you are stupider after you've taken that trade because of fear. So being able to recognize fear in yourself when you're taking these trades is going to be super important, because fear is, I think, one of the main drivers of that. But then on the other side, maybe Levi, you can touch on this. There's greed, can do the exact same thing.
Yeah, greed can do the same thing. I do think though that you're right that you probably have the exact right idea on what's causing that. I mean, fear, it makes you do stupid things, and not to pick on this guy, because you and I can't tell you how many times I have taken a trade,
Oh
seen
yeah,
price start going my way, and then come back down, and then I get out of the trade because it scares me, right?
yeah.
Price comes back to like break
Break
even or
even,
slightly
yeah,
losing. And so I'll get
yeah,
out,
we do that a lot.
and so I get out of the trade. Yeah. I get out of the trade and then take the exact same trade. I've literally done that before. I've taken a trade, get out of it, and then just retake the trade because and it's at the exact same level. It's at like doing the exact same thing, stop loss same place, take profit the same place. I've done that before countless times because of fear. You do really stupid stuff when you're afraid, and so fear is what kills a lot of profits for beginners. Everybody has fear and emotions, right? I don't think you'll ever fully get rid of that, but managing the fear and what you do with it is what's going to make a huge difference in beginners. And you might be right, it might be up to 50%. I mean, it's again, it was the difference between this trader making uh, either a small loss or break even to him making a significant gain, one of the biggest weekly gains he would have ever made if he'd just taken his trades and left it. And you're right, when you put a stop loss somewhere or a take profit somewhere, you put it there for a reason. Why did you put it there? And yeah, conditions change. I'm not saying you can never get out of a trade early or never make an adjustment during a trade, but I would encourage beginners, if you're going to err on any side, I would err on don't ever make a change. And you just take a trade and you take your wins and you take your losses. I think people would make a significant gain. And I think a good homework for somebody to do is just go back to your last month journal and literally do what I told this guy to do, which is just count how many times you saved yourself by changing a trade. And you will, right? You
You
will
will,
sometimes.
yeah.
Like you'll take a yeah, you'll put it to break even, and you would have lost money, and so you're like, yay, I saved myself. Count how many times you did that and you saved yourself, and count how many times you actually hurt yourself by doing that. And I think you might be surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. And the same thing goes. I mean, the same thing goes just on the opposite direction. Don't get greedy as well. People get greedy, and you get move your take profit. Right? You're like, hey, here's my 2 to 1. You see one big candle, you're like, I can get a 1 to 4, and then you see it, you're like a 1 to 5, and then bam, it goes back and hits your stop loss. Right? Like we've all done that as well. I think pretty much everyone has done that at some point in their lives as well, because you get that, Levi and I've talked about it, you get that one big miracle trade where you get that 1 to 10, or you see the Nas drop 3%, and you're like, I could have ridden that all the way down. Think of how much money I could have made. Don't get entered into the greed of trading or trying to, like, it's like, oh, it's like how, no, just stick to the plan, because again, you set your take profit for a reason. Your chances of winning a 1 to 3 are significantly lower than a 1 to 2, and a 1 to 5 is significantly lower. It just gets exponentially lower the bigger your risk to reward gets. And so you are automatically putting the odds against you every time you move that take profit farther away.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. The greed and fear, man, greed and fear. Guys, take. I'd be really interested. We'd be incredibly interested. Go do this. Go do this homework for the last month. Go do this homework. Check how many times you saved yourself, how many times you hurt yourself, and let us know what you find. We'd love to. Again, we love reading journals. We love helping you guys out. Please reach out to us. We love hearing from you. Leave us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It helps us out a ton, helps us get visibility and kind of get that message to other people. So really appreciate you guys listening.